This is Bridge with Stephen, and today we're going to tackle the third of three parts on the subject of Blackwood. In the first part, we talked about the original form of Blackwood, where the four-note trump response asks about the four aces, and the five-note trump response, if it's opted, is asking about the four kings. We also talked about some of the shortcomings of Blackwood, the kind of hands that it can't handle, and we also talked about when four-note trump was not a ask, when it was meant to play or had some other meaning. So you might want to go back and look at part one if you need to review any of that. In part two, we showed a modern upgrade of Blackwood called Roman keycard Blackwood, and let's just spend a second or two reviewing what that was. We had two forms of the Roman keycard Blackwood, the so-called 1430 form, in which the first step says I have one or four keycards, and the second step says I have 3 or 0. And this can be reversed. This is the original form of Roman keycard Blackwood, where 5 clubs, the first step, represented 0 or 3, and 5 diamonds, 1 and 4. The two forms have the same bids for the third and fourth steps. 5 hearts shows 2 keycards without the queen of trump, and 5 spades shows 2 keycards with the queen of trump. And this is all initiated with the four-note trump keycard ask. We're asking about keycards now and not aces, where keycards are the 4 aces and the king of trump. This system is mostly used for major suits. We'll look at how we handle minor suits a little bit differently. But it can be used for either major or minor. It just has a little bit of a problem when we use it for minors. If the answer to our keycard ask is sufficient, we might ask about the queen of trump. We want to have at least 4 keycards to ask about the queen of trump, and of course we don't do that when we're looking at it, and we don't do it when partner's answer has already told us that he or she either does or does not have the queen in hand. Now, after this, we have a few other options: the specific king ask, the second king ask, and the specific suit ask. And you can look at the second video in this series for more information on that. Now, what we're going to do is look at some variations on Roman keycard Blackwood on what we just reviewed over there. The first one is Gerber, which I think most of us know and have learned right from the beginning when we first started playing bridge. This is for no trump options, and the asking bid is 4 clubs. So you should have a pretty clear idea of when a 4 club call is Gerber or not. The rule I like to use is this one: any option that either began or ended with a natural no trump call before a jump to 4 clubs, that 4 club bid will be Gerber. Any other situation, the 4 club bid has a different meaning. So with that in mind, a lot of people will use 5 clubs as the Gerber bid when the last bid by partner was 3 no trump, reserving 4 clubs after 3 no trump for a different meaning, and that's not a jump, so it's not Gerber, if that's your understanding. Here are some typical options that proceed to 4 clubs, where 4 clubs is Gerber. 1 no trump, 4 clubs. Okay, that's straightforward. 2 no trump, 4 clubs. That's also straightforward. 1 diamond, 1 spade, 1 no trump, 4 clubs. Okay, here's a string of bids that ends with a natural no trump followed by a jump to 4 clubs. This is a similar option. 1 club, 1 heart, 2 no trump, 4 clubs. That's Gerber. And here's another one: 1 no trump opening bid, 2 clubs, stamen, 2 diamonds. I don't have a 4-card major, 4 clubs. Tell me about your aces. This is the menu of responses to 4 clubs. The first step, 4 diamonds, is I have 0 or 4 aces. 4 hearts, I have 1. 4 spades, I have 2. And 4 no trump, I have 3. There is a form of Gerber that can be played with key cards, key card Gerber, but it's a little tricky, and it obviously only applies to auctions in which there are suits named. Auctions like these two don't have a suit name, so there's no king of trump. There's no 4th, there's no 5th key card to consider. This one has to be played regular Gerber, but these can be played in the 1430 key card form, if that's how you prefer. Now, let's talk about exclusion key card Blackwood. This is a form of Blackwood for the times when you hold a void. You are asking about key cards when you hold a void, and the bids that do this are going to be either 4 spades, 5 clubs, 5 diamonds, or 5 hearts, depending on where your void is. So the example we're going to look at right now has a void in clubs, and the 5 club bid will become the key card ask. Here's the problem. This is why we need this situation. We need this system of bids. Suppose you have a very nice hand like this. I think we talked about this one or a hand very much like it in a previous session. You can see by looking at this hand that for every one of these aces that partner has, we get another trick. If partner has only one of these three aces, spades, hearts, and diamonds, we can't make slam because we're missing two. If partner has two of them, though, we can make the slam as long as one of them is not the ace of clubs. If we have the ace of clubs and one of these three aces, we're still going to lose two tricks. So we need to make sure that when partner tells us how many key cards he or she holds, that she's not telling us about clubs. And we let partner know that with a jump to 5 clubs. Here's a possible option. 1 spade, 3 diamonds. This is intended as a Bergen race. This is a support for spades and shows a certain amount of strength depending upon which form of Bergen you play. And if it was now followed by a 5 club bid, that says, partner, tell me about all the key cards that you hold that aren't the ace of clubs. And the answers to that, the first step will say I have none. The second step will say I have 1. The third step, 2 without the queen of trump. Fourth step, 2 with the queen of trump. And the fifth step says I have 3. So in this case, a first step response after 5 clubs will be 5 diamonds. 5 diamonds says I have no key cards. 5 hearts says I have 1 key card. This system also has a queen ask. It's the same as it is for Roman key card Blackwood. It's the first suit that's not trump after the response to the key card ask. And there's also a specific king ask here. It's going to be either 5 no trump or the next level of the exclusion suit. So whichever is cheaper. So if it's possible to bid in this setting right here, if the response leaves us room to bid 5 no trump, that's the king ask. If the answer to this is 5 no trump, and we can't bid 5 no trump and ask white a king, 6 clubs would be the king ask. So it would be the exclusion suit once again. Okay, that's exclusion key card Blackwood. Now let's look at what's called minor wood. This is a variation on Roman key card Blackwood for the minor suits. And the key card ask is for the minor suit, which will be either 4 clubs or 4 diamonds, depending upon whether we're in a club or a diamond option. Let's look at why we have this. What's the problem here? Okay, you open 1 club with this nice hand, partner makes a 2 club inverted minor response that's forcing and shows strength. If you now bid 4 no trump, and you're playing the 1430 system, we'll assume, and partner bids 5 diamonds to indicate no key cards, look at the problem. You're not making a slam in clubs, but you're already past 5 clubs. You're not getting back to 5 clubs. The solution to this problem is to make the key card ask a lower bid. So what we do is 1 club, 2 clubs, 4 clubs, this becomes the key card ask. And the set of responses will, when we're in a clubs sequence like this one, first step will be 1 or 4. If we're playing 1430, it'll be 0 or 3 if we make the second step response, third step response. It's the same pattern that we've seen before. So in this case, we would show 0 key cards with a 4 heart call. It's the second step, and then we would be able to play in 5 clubs. So this system also has a queen ask, which once again is the lowest non-trump suit that can be bid after the answer to the key card ask. And there's also a specific king ask here. This is a little bit different because we're not going to be able to make the specific king ask in the agreed upon suit. That would look like a sign out. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So what we do is the specific king ask will be either 4 no trump or at the 5 level, 1 step above our trump suit. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a typical hand. You might open this hand 1 diamond. Partner gives you a 2 diamond raise. Once again, we're playing inverted minors, so that's a strong enforcing bid. 4 diamonds is the key card ask. 5 clubs is the answer that shows 2 key cards with the queen of trump. And the 2 key cards will be the ace of hearts, the king of diamonds, and of course the queen of diamonds, because that's the agreed upon suit. Now, if West wants to ask about kings, you obviously can't bid 5 diamonds. That's the sign-off bid. That's the bid you make when you don't like the response to the key card ask. So it has to be a step higher. 5 hearts becomes a specific king ask, and the answers are the same as they were under Roman key card Blackwood. We bid the cheapest side suit king that we have, and finally we get to 6 diamonds. I want to mention something on this subject here. I overlooked, I went by it. This is a different menu of responses than either 1430 or 3014. This is not Roman. Roman would have 2 values here in the first step and 2 values in the second step, like it does everywhere else we've looked, here and here. The reason for that is that there's 1 fewer key card, and we don't have to jam quite as many numbers into each answer. So these steps, this is a different menu. 0, 1, 2 without the queen, 2 with the queen, and 3. Okay, sorry to have overlooked that. Now we're going to look at an interesting convention called double key card Blackwood. This is for the times when you find a double fit. You raise 2 suits. Here would be an example option. 1 spade, 2 heart response. Raise partners 2 hearts to 3 hearts. Now partner raises the spades to 3. You've got a double fit. A forward trump call now can be arranged using this system to answer questions about 6 key cards and 2 queens, because now there's 2 suits. In this example, the suits are spades and hearts. So we have all 4 aces, the king of spades and the king of hearts, and the queen of spades and the queen of hearts are all cards of interest. And we can actually tell partner about all these. Here's the 1430 set of responses. It starts out the same as Roman key card Blackwood, the regular form. 1 and 4 is the first step. 5 diamonds, second step is 0 or 3. But now, instead of saying 5 hearts is 2 without the queen and 5 spades is 2 with the queen, there's 2 queens to be interested in now. So 5 hearts becomes 2 or 5 key cards with neither queen. 5 spades is 2 or 5 key cards with the lower ranking queen, which would be hearts in this case. 5 no trump, the next step is 2 or 5 with the higher ranking queen. And 6 clubs becomes 2 or 5 key cards with both queens. Now, obviously, if you get one of these answers, you're going to know everything there is to know about the queens. But if you get one of these 2 answers, if the answer is 5 clubs or 5 diamonds, we're going to want to bid one of the suits that aren't our suits. A return to any of these suits is always a sign-off. So in this case, we'd have to make a club or a diamond call to do a queen ask. So suppose after our 4 no trump double key card ask, the response is 5 clubs, I have 1 or 4 key cards, you want to make a queen ask, the queen ask would be 5 diamonds. And the menu of responses is very similar to up here, but we don't know where we're going to be starting. In this case, we're going to say 5 hearts if we have no queens, because that's the first step, and on up the line. So here would be what this looks like. After we reach the 4 no trump bid, this sequence continued. 4 no trump, 5 clubs, I have 1 or 4 key cards. 5 diamonds, do you have the queen? 5 hearts, first step, I have neither. 5 spades, I have the lower ranking queen. 5 no trump, I have the higher ranking queen, and 6 clubs, I have both. Okay, that should do it for today.